So, proxy, reverse proxy, load balancer, API gateway. If you have ever tried to learn system design, you have run straight into these four words. And honestly, they all sort of blur together into some box in the middle that does something right. And every explanation hands you a table, five differences between this one and that one, which I think only makes it worse because here is the thing they bury. What if these four are not four different things at all? What if they are the same box, doing different jobs, in different places, one middleman just wearing different hats? So instead of memorizing four definitions, we are going to learn one thing what a middleman on the request path actually is, and then three tiny questions that let you name any of them on site. Let us build it up. Okay, so at high level, every single one of these is the same thing underneath a proxy. A proxy is just a middleman for a request. Instead of your request going straight to the destination, it goes to the proxy first, and the proxy passes it along. That's it. Let's say you open example.com, but you are on your office Wi Fi. Your request does not go straight there. If it hits the office's box first, and that box passes it along, and concretely, that middleman does about five little things. 1. It receives your request as if it were the destination itself. It can look at it, maybe cache it, log it, change it a little, at least when it can actually read the request. Encrypted traffic, it might just pass right through. 3. And this is the key part. It opens its own connection onward to the real server on your behalf. 4. It gets the response back. 5. It relays that response back to you. Receive, forward, return. That is the whole thing. Everything else in this video is just this same middleman put somewhere specific, given a specific job. And this middleman creates one small problem right away. And it is a nice callback to our HTTP request video because the proxy opened its own connection to the server does not see your address anymore. It sees the proxies. So, how does the server ever know who you really are? Well, a proxy that is working for the server inside your own system will usually add a header. You will see it as called X forwarded for that carries your original IP for along the right. A public proxy trying to hide you would skip that, obviously, but your own infrastructure wants the real client. One honest catch since it is only a header, anyone can fake it. So a server should trust that header only when its own proxy is the one that added it. So, question 1, and it is the big one. Whose side is the middleman standing on? Because that is the whole difference between a proxy and a reverse proxy. A plain forward proxy sits in front of you, the client, and works on your behalf, going out to the internet. That office box we just used, that is exactly this. It filters which sites you can reach. It caches common things. It hides your address from the sites you visit. It is your agent, facing out. Now, quick gut check. Is a reverse proxy some fancier, more powerful kind of proxy? No. And that is the trap most people fall into. It is the exact mirror image, the same box just standing on the other side. A reverse proxy sit in front of the servers, working on their behalf for traffic coming in. So now you, the client, never talk to the real servers directly. You only ever talk to this one box. It's the server's agent facing in. And that is really the whole forward versus reverse thing. Same middleman. The only question is which side of the conversation is it standing on? Forward for the person leaving the building, reverse for the building itself. From here on, everything is a reverse proxy, a box in front of the servers. And it turns out this one box can wear a few different hats, including the one you have probably been waiting for, the API gateway. So let us go through them. Okay, so what does a reverse proxy actually do? Sitting there in front of the servers. A whole bunch of useful jobs, all gathered in one place. It can route, send anything under slash API to these servers, images to those. It can cache, keep a copy of common responses and answer instantly without even waking the servers. It can terminate TLS, handle the HTTPS encryption right there at the edge. So the servers behind it don't each have to. Inside, it might pass plain traffic on or re-encrypt to the servers. That is a setup detail. And it can hide the servers as well. The outside world only ever sees the proxy. One honest note on the last one because almost everyone gets it wrong. Hiding is not the same as securing. Hiding the servers only actually protects them if they are already locked down and private. If a user can still reach a server directly, then a proxy sitting in front of it hides the address but protects nothing. It is just tidying up the front. So hiding, yes, security only if the servers are genuinely private. Now, here is the payoff, and it is the box from the last video. One of the jobs a reverse proxy can do is spread incoming requests across many identical servers. And that one specific job is exactly what we have been calling a load balancer. So, that front door from the last episode, and the one that hides a whole fleet behind one address and health checks them. As long as it is smart, HTTP reading kind, that was a reverse proxy the entire time. Load balancing is just the spreading job it happened to be doing. So, a reverse proxy and a load balancer are not two different boxes you pick between. It is one box. Load balancer is simply the name for it when its main job is spreading the traffic. Quick honest footnote. Some load balancers work at a lower level and just forward raw connections without ever reading your HTTP. Those ones are not really proxies. But the smart, web facing ones you will actually meet, those are reverse proxies. Last one, the API gateway. Let's say you have got a big app and that is not one server but many small services. One for the users, one for payments, one for search, and so on. Now, without a gateway, the app on your phone has to talk to each of these services directly, and that turns into a mess. The app has to know where every single service lives. Every service has to build and maintain its own login checks, and one screen might need four services. So that is four separate round trips just to draw one page. So you put one box in front of all of them, an API gateway. And now the phone just makes one call to one address. The gateway checks who you are once right at the door. It enforces rate limits. So one user cannot hammer everything. It routes each request to the right service. And it can even combine several services answers into a single response. So the phone is not making four trips. It is a reverse proxy, the same box that also happens to speak API. So it does everything a reverse proxy does, plus this API level policy on top. And one fair warning here, because this one really happens. It is very tempting to keep piling up more and more logic into that gateway until it slowly turns into one giant tangled box that every team is stuck waiting on. Basically, a mini version of the monolith you are trying to get away from. So, the rule of thumb, the gateway does routing, auth, limits, and light combining, and your actual business logic stays inside the services. It is a smart door, it is not the whole house. So, you never have to memorize those four again. You just ask three tiny questions. 1. Whose side is the box on? In front of you, the client, that is forward proxy. In front of the servers, a reverse proxy. 2. Does that reverse proxy spread traffic across many identical servers? Then we call it a load balancer. Does it speak API, auth, rate limits, routing, combining answers? Then we call it an API gateway. Side, spread, speak. That is the whole map. And the one big idea to walk away with, these are roles, not products. One real piece of software like Nginx can be your reverse proxy and your load balancer. And with the right setup, your gateway all at once, depending on how you configure it. So the question is never which of the four is the box. The question is only what job is the box doing right here. And this little family keeps going, right? Take this reverse proxy idea and push it out physically close to your users all around the world, caching it at the edge, and you are basically looking at a CDN. That is the very next video. And take a tiny proxy and clip one next to every single service. That is the service mesh idea for another day. Same middleman, new jobs. See you in the next one.